The market doesn't know what keeps you up at night. It doesn't know when you want to retire, and it doesn't know how old you are. The simple truth is, the market doesn't care. But if you care, you've tuned into the right place. You're listening to Investor Resources, bringing clarity to the confusing world of finance. Here are your hosts of Investor Resources, Don Creech and Perry Sykes.
I'm Don Creech.
And I am Perry Sykes, and welcome to the Investor Resources podcast.
Well, if you've been paying any attention to the market, which most likely you have, or you wouldn't have found our podcast here, and you know that the market has had some challenging times, and it's basically across all the sectors, including stuff that has traditionally been very, very solid during periods of difficulty. And I'm referring to consumer staples. What is that? That's your soap and toilet paper and shampoo and toothpaste and paper towels and napkins and party stuff. And this time of year, retailers are counting on one more consumer staple to improve company sales, and that's called Halloween, and it's right around the corner.
Coming right up, and it's turned into quite a substantial spending day for Americans.
It is surprising, but Americans are expected to spend $12 billion on Halloween this year. I had no idea it would be that high, but that is a bag full of money. You know,
and it used to be you go out and you buy a bag full of candy bars to hand out to whatever kids came to your front door, and that was about it. Boy, no more. I mean, the Halloween party business is enormous and apparently growing, and it's fairly recession-proof. That spending tends to be pretty sticky in good times and bad. People are still out there on Halloween in costume and having a party.
Well, and social media just expands this whole thing. You
Sure.
can have a party, you can get dressed up and go trick or treating around your neighborhood, and those are the people who knew what you did. But now you've got social media and the focus on taking selfies. Everybody starts sharing, look what I did, look what we're doing. And that's a new dimension to the marketing of Halloween.
And all of a sudden, who had the best Halloween party in Atlanta or the Bahamas. It doesn't matter where it is. You're going to know who had the best party because it's going to be online. So
Americans on average spend a little over $100 for Halloween stuff. In Canada, they spend about half as much. But if you really get into it, the last time I was in a store looking for some party stuff, I mean, I don't know how you get out of there for Halloween for $100. It's kind of like going to Costco. You know, you went in for paper towels and you end up with a basket full of other stuff, and it's never $100 and 5 or 6. And the party store seems to me it's the same kind of risk exposure when you walk into there.
It is. You can literally spend as much as you would like on your Halloween party. You want to spend $100? Well, you can get by with that. You want to spend $1,000? Come with me, no problem. We can spend that money easily. So it doesn't matter how much you want to spend. You can cover it in what's available these days.
The only holiday that actually attracts more consumer spending is the holiday spending around Hanukkah and Christmas. Retailers get more dough in the door during that holiday season than they do Halloween. So we could look at Halloween as the beginning of the year-end retail cash register activity, whether it's online or in store. It is what rings the bell to help bring some profit back into the retail arena.
There you go.
We don't get too many Halloween trick-or-treaters at our house anymore. And when they come in and they look like teenagers, I tell them not to come back. So
said your Halloween career is over. Yeah. We've actually had a turnover in our neighborhood. When you watch the elementary school bus stops now, there's 20 kids that get off the bus. So those kids are back in some of the newer neighborhoods, which are walking distance from our older neighborhood. So our Halloween business is picking up.
I'll have to pay attention for the school buses and see what it looks like.
Yeah,
But if
there you
you
go.
think Halloween is scary, there's actually something else that may be much scarier coming your way, and it is already causing a demographic change. If you were going to name one state that's been the primary beneficiary of demographic shift this last year or two, what
Right.
state is the biggest beneficiary?
It's easily Florida, and that's been for a while. The shift just on the eastern seaboard from north to south, and it doesn't matter how far north you went, you can't go any farther south in America anyway than Florida. That's where you hit the ocean again. So Florida's been the recipient of all of those boomers getting old, looking for some sunshine, and heading south.
So while you have the bad news, scary news, let's say that because of the Halloween and the stuff that it's designed to promote is the scary stuff. But how about living in your house in Florida and getting your renewal on your homeowner's insurance
Yeah.
that is 7 times greater than last year?
Can you even
Actually,
imagine that?
actually, there's a family there that said they paid more than 13 times what they were paying for homeowners insurance when they bought the house in 2019. These are
My first thought
astronomical.
when I saw that, my first thought was, well, could that be legal? Could you really legally raise someone's premium that much year to year? And the answer is yes, you can in the insurance industry, and they are currently in Florida. And people just weren't ready to look at the one of the primary costs of homeownership is being insuring your property. A lot of people are like, well, that's more than my mortgage at this point. That is out of whack. That is a crazy level of pricing. But the insurance companies have the ability to price those and are.
So I mentioned on several podcasts back that one of the areas in the financial services sector that has actually been doing fairly well has been the insurance exchange traded fund buys insurance companies. And because
Correct.
they're able to raise their premiums, and we've had storms and fires and all this stuff, and that always gives them justification for needing higher premiums. So we think, okay, we can kind of go along with that. But what caught our eye on this article was a little Florida town, which is just outside West Palm Beach. It's walking distance. It's the Flamingo Park neighborhood. And
Mhm.
the lead couple on this story left Chicago for a 2-story stucco home in Flamingo Park. It's a 4-bedroom house. It's a short bridge away from Palm Beach Island, walking
Right.
distance to downtown West Palm Beach. And the new rate for his insurance starting in September was $121,000 for your home insurance. Now the home's worth three and
That's
a half million
amazing.
dollars. It's not a little bit, the 4-bedroom home for three and a
Right.
half million dollars. But 121, $10,000 a month for your home insurance.
That
That's
that's incredible.
that's scarier than the Halloween kids coming on my door.
It is, and the problem with that particular neighborhood is it's a historic neighborhood. They're older homes. They're more fragile. They weren't built to withstand hurricanes, and so the insurance company gets to look forward and say, well, the potential here is huge for cost to us rebuilding at today's inflated prices. So we're going to increase your premiums today to protect ourselves in the future. And the problem even the insurance companies are having now is that people without a mortgage are just opting to go with no insurance. They're just canceling their insurance and going running naked, as they say. We're just out there with no insurance because it's too expensive. It's a ridiculous amount to pay. And if we got a hurricane, we'd just sell the property because the house is going to be gone. We'll sell the property and leave. And that's our insurance. Because paying, like you said, Don, paying $10,000 a month doesn't make economic sense. And so the insurance company is actually running up against people's willingness to even pay the premium that they're asking. So it's an out of control cost that you hope moderates in the future, but that's up to the insurance company.
Yeah, it may not. So this little town of Flamingo Park, may become a ghost town because people are just putting their houses up for sale and they're leaving town just like they left New York City to get out of there. They're
Yep,
leaving
not paying for this.
Flamingo Park to get away from the insurance companies. So if your
And when you're
insurance
looking at,
premium goes
yeah,
up in the next couple of months or this next renewal period, don't be surprised. It's on its way. I think that's a
it,
wrap
it,
unless you've got something to add, Perry.
we're good to go, Don. Good to go.
Subscribe. There's a link down below. If you want to talk to us about money management, the contact information's on the screen. We look forward to our next one. We're gone for today.